I have to say, as we come into this show, Shawn's least favorite night of the evening, and I might have just gotten beat by that much on an $1,800 Big Four. But to make things better, we have a special guest this evening, Electra Boone. Electra, how are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I think you know how we're doing. A little bit before the show got started, Shawn and I were live, apparently, in background, and I think I let a few words slip that maybe I ought not have. So I was misbehaving as I was pulling for that 8. You're okay with that, right, Electra?
I hear it every day. I'm an assistant. You know how it is.
Yeah, I can imagine how it is. So you got into horse racing after Barbara won the Kentucky Derby. What were you doing before that? I mean, where were you?
I was a child.
Well, that explains it.
I mean, that was 2006. So, I mean, I'm 23. I was young, and I was just watching it with my dad. And, you know, my family's not into horse racing or anything like that. They like it, but I don't have any like family into it. So that's what I'm trying to say. My mom, she broke babies and stuff in the Western world, did barrel racing, but I'm the first, and I just loved watching the Kentucky Derby. And that horse was a horse of the lot, like amazing horse. And I wanted to be a jockey because of that horse, but here I am, an assistant now.
So you did, after that race, tell us, how did you originally get into horse racing? What was that first step for you?
So I was born in Ohio. I was born in Cincinnati. And so I didn't have any connection with any racetracks. That I was young anyway. So like for a kid to be on the backside is not ideal anyways. And I had no connection to get into horse racing. I just was a fanatic. I mean, I just loved race horses. I drew them. I mean, I just followed them like crazy on social media, and I would have my mom like drive us to Kentucky all the time, like where we eventually ended up moving just because my mom really wanted me to engage in that passion because she knew that I wanted to do something with it. So we actually moved to Kentucky when I was young, and I got to pursue the photography side of it. I was just a fan at Churchill Downs, and we were living in Louisville, and I was going to school in Louisville at the time, high school. And I met some people, like the photographers there, and they gave me a job, and that's kind of where it started. I mean, I was getting access to the paddock, and I got to be on the track and got to go on the backside. And then it kind of just shifted to like, I met a bunch of more people. I met trainers, and I met just a bunch of people that were offering to give me that jump start. And I got to start when I was 16, hot walking horses, and kind of went from there.
So now you've grown all the way into assistant trainer, right? So how do you like those responsibilities?
Definitely the hardest job ever. I mean, anyone I've talked to, it is such a grueling job. It is so difficult. There's so much responsibility, and I mean, I've been struggling with it myself, actually. It's just not been easy. You know, I have to juggle galloping like a full set of horses while being an assistant and trying to make everyone happy. And then, you know, I work for my boyfriend, so you have to juggle a relationship on top of that. So it's definitely not been easy, but everything along the road has given me so much joy and experiences with it. I mean, I've just learned so much and done so much with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be assistant trainer already, I can imagine the boyfriend part could be a little difficult at times, but
Yeah.
So Jamie Martinez, a great supporter of our show, says Electra is goals. How do you think not being from a racing family makes your perspective different from most of the people that you work around?
I think it's just because I'm not saying that people that grew up into it, it was handed to them, because a lot of people like don't get handed anything in horse racing. That's not how it works. You have to be a skilled person to work in this industry. I was actually just thinking about this earlier, how you have to be such a resilient human being to work in this industry. It is the most grueling, as I said before, like just it's not an easy industry to be a part of. I mean, you have to deal with so much stress and emotion, and you just have to take hits and like left and right from every aspect of the sport and your work, you know? So I guess it's different because I mean, I got knocked around a lot. I mean, between barns and just being a woman in a racing barn full of men and like people you don't know. I mean, so many barns didn't work out for me, and I just I had no guidance. I literally was just a 16-year-old doing what I thought was right. And I just kept moving barn to barn to barn and trying to find a fit where I wasn't like either being harassed or I was making something decent. You know, I'm such a hard worker, you know, that I mean, I was 17 when I went to Dubai for the first time, and I was super like thankful for that opportunity. But I just feel like someone that didn't have any connection. I mean, it just takes years to finally get to where that you have a decent job in the industry that makes you like something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I know what you're saying because we're on that same path right now here with what Shawn and I are doing. So on the side job, you do a little bit of TikTok, right? So you've amassed a little bit of an audience there. So I just started Twitter today. So this is a contrast to worlds. I have like 6 people following me now, and you have you have like 60,000 times that or something. So what's that like?
I mean, TikTok has changed a lot since I actually grew that fan base. Like I've actually been losing a lot because I'm not as active as I was, and like the algorithm changed a lot. So I'm not actually increasing my fan base as I was before. I mean, at one point, I think it was like last year or the year before, I mean, like I was just getting 20,000 followers a week, and it was just something that was just like I didn't even know what to do with it. I just kept posting videos to keep it going and try to keep up with it, but like I said, the algorithm changed, so I'm actually dropping. I think the account is just kind of like gone off the map a bit, and it's not because I'm not posting. I think that people just it's just different these days. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to re-engage. I'm still trying to be creative, and you know, I think a lot of it is the creative side of the videography and like the music with the videos. It's like people want to see like a lot with the backside. They want to see the horses and like everything to do with them. They want exposure. So, you know, I try to do the best I can with that. And I try to be very honest too with my followers. So I think that's what helped grow it.
It's a long way for me to get to 120,000. Maybe you can give Shawn a little bit of advice, because when we get to 1,000 on Twitter, Shawn's going to have to do his first TikTok dance. So,
oh my gosh, I can't dance. So I'm.
Well, Shawn can't dance either. That's the fun part. So, what advice? I do have one quick question for you, though. This is more of a technical question than it is like a personal question. But so I see you, because I watched a couple TikTok videos to get ready today, and you have like I'm going to say commercial artists that you lip sync sometimes. How do you get away with commercial? If we put something up for like 4 seconds, I'm going to get a letter. Hey, what are you doing? So how does that, how can they put in commercial music and not like, is it like a fair use? How does that work?
Oh my gosh, this is so funny because the reason why I never got into YouTube is because of the monetization on the copyright infringement that you can do on the music. And I never got into YouTube because you only get to use free music. And like, it's just pure honesty, like from experience. Like I've always done videography, cinematography, like all of that. I mean, I've always been really engaged in editing videos and making like really cool videos. Like since I was younger, I've always loved like GoPros and all that stuff. And I've always tried to use YouTube, but I could never get into it because of the copyright. Like you could never use music that was like engaging enough for an audience to like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think the majority of people that use YouTube are succeeding because their videos are just like tutorials and like how to, and they're just like vlogging, and it's just background music. I don't think most of it is even creative to me. Like you don't see many creative videos unless it's like a music video and it's their song. So I kind of shifted gears when I saw that TikTok, like I've had it forever. I didn't care about the app. It was just for fun. I just used to watch videos, but then I kind of saw that they were using like small clips of these songs, and it wasn't a full song. So I don't know where the copyright lies on TikTok. I know there's an extent, like if you wanted to use a full song, you know, they won't let you, but there's just audios flying around everywhere that are very short, like 6 to 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So it's not like a full thing, and they're heavily edited. So I think that's why they just allow it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure on that. I know that's what works. I know that's what makes the videos engaging is the songs and the good content.
I think there's an agreement between TikTok and the songs that are out there, because I think you can only pick through so many songs. So I think that's why you're able to get away with that. Electra, you came into it a little bit, but what is your daily schedule from morning to night as far as being an assistant trainer, and what are all your responsibilities?
So right now it's great because in my barn we actually have 3 really hardworking people that are heavily responsible for the horses. I mean, aside from Carlos, he's the boss. He says what goes. So we have 3 people under him, and that's me. There's another assistant named Quachi Hernandez, and then Juan Camilo. He's the foreman, and then Quachi's another assistant. So between the guys and me, they live very, very close to the track. I actually live 25, 30-ish minutes from the track. So I get there around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I set my tack and I check horses' legs, and I do everything that I need to do for the day, like make the race box, clean bridles, like get everything ready in that aspect. And they're already there like 30 minutes before me. They get the jump start on me. Like they're either, cleaning stalls and, like checking horses too. Like it's just like a big teamwork thing. So my day is, I usually will stay around until 12 or 1. Carlos will stay till 2 or 3. He'll stay as long as he has to. And that's an everyday thing. He's literally the only trainer I've seen from experience stay that long in a barn. He's very dedicated to the barn. He stays all day. He loves to spend his time there. And he's always been that way every single day. There's not one day he comes home early and cuts off work. So I normally do not go back to feed time at Palmettos just because of the traffic and so far. So they switch on and off days with each other. But when he sends me out with a string to like Monmouth Park or like Keeneland, I'm always, I take over the feed for my own string. So I guess right now I'm very lucky in that aspect. I don't have to go back in the afternoon. Sorry, but when we do have race days, I do drive to Gulfstream and I do saddle the horses, and we kind of rotate. So it's like a really great teamwork effort in that aspect.
Who are some of the more popular horses that you've gotten to work with, and who are some of your favorites?
For sure, everyone knows my favorite horse ever is Hot Blooded. He's my favorite. He's definitely not this like fantastic graded stake horse. I mean, nothing like that. But he is the definitely most gutsiest gelding I've ever been on. He is just every single race, every replay that you see, that he's always just shoots right to the front. He tries to hold on, and he always comes up short just at the end. Like the last furlong or 16th, he gets beat, and it's just. He won a stake. He did. It was an R-rated stake, like just black type, and it was at Gulfstream, and he was a 2-year-old. It was the Proud Man Stakes, and that was literally the most exciting thing ever, was getting to gallop a horse. That was my first time galloping a horse that, consistently that made it to a stake. Like I had worked for another trainer, Jeremiah Englehart, who gave me a shot on a 2-year-old colt, and he ended up being a great stake winner. His name was Captain Bombastic. And that was like my first achievement as an exercise rider that I took with me, and I was so excited to have that. But so Hot Blooded is my favorite horse ever. And, what's funny is I take a liking to even the horses that we don't have many stake horses, but the ones that we did, were probably really, really, really tough, and the guys handled them better than me. That's just honesty. But I did get to get on Zenden before. Zenden was an incredible horse to ride. He just had so much power. He was so keen and very classy. He never did anything wrong. He was the coolest horse ever to ride. He was really cool. I had a few favorites, but my other favorite is Just Saying. She was like a $12,000 claimer, a big, beautiful black mare. She was gorgeous. So those are like my favorite.
How hard is it when you're with them every day in the barn or something, and they get claimed away or something? How hard is that?
It's crazy because like I never got used to it. I never got used to horses getting claimed, or horses that, for instance, Zenden that we lost. That was very traumatic. I think I was just thinking about this also earlier, how sensitive I am and how I wouldn't make it in many jobs in life because of how sensitive and attached I am to the horses that I work with. Like me versus everyone else in the barn. I mean, I'm like setting my tack and I'll go and lay down with a horse in the shavings. Like, I don't care. It's just something that I'm so drawn to them. I'm always been an animal lover and I care so much about them. So when horses get claimed that I'm like really attached to, I will full on breakdown crying sometimes. Like sometimes it happens. Like it's like an attachment and it's such a sudden thing. So things like that, it's like hard, you know?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
What's your ultimate goal? I know it'd be a little bit more difficult with, you're working with your boyfriend now, but is your ultimate goal to be a trainer on your own?
She's
always
like, I
like,
don't want to answer that one. All right, so Jamie wants to say. Jamie has another question. He says, "You shared so many beautiful moments in racing with the world. Which one really sticks out in your mind as the best moment you've had in racing?"
I think my top thing that most people know me for was this gelding that we had, this like old war horse named My Point Exactly. He's the reason why I got TikTok famous. We had this gray gelding, really tall. We still have him, by the way. Really tall. When I met Carlos, it was like Carlos's baby. Loved him. He was so nice, and so he's a claimer. He won a bunch of races. He's been claimed around from a bunch of trainers. Everybody knows him. He's just this old war horse. I mean, he just big heart. So he got claimed from us after having him being around him for like a year and a half, and it was gut wrenching because it was Carlos's favorite horse, and we went through so much. Like we tried to do like private buying. We tried everything we could to get him back, and we couldn't for the longest time. I think it was like 6 or 7 months before he ran at Calder for a 6250 tag, and we just begged an owner that was interested in him like previously if he could claim the horse, and the horse wasn't even doing that well. So we luckily were the only ones in for him that day. We got him back, and it was just like a redemption. It was like the best day ever. So a lot of people followed me through that story, and they know me through that story because it was just such a like anticipated thing, like to try and get this horse back that we loved and we took so well care of. We loved him. Everyone knew him for that. And then we turned him into our barn pony. So they kind of made this big story out of it. And it was a like fairy tale ending.
You bring up the love for the horses, and obviously there's the other side of that. And I'm not talking about in our business, but outside of our business, you have some animal rights folks who think that the horses are abused from wherever they are. How wrong are they about that in terms of how the horses are treated?
I know I'm supposed to stand up for the industry. Like,
well, you don't have to. Just give us the truth.
There's a lot of aspects to it I don't support, and I've had a lot of things that's happened to me in the industry with horses and things that I've seen that I have definitely wanted to quit for, like things that I just couldn't like get past. There was things that like I was trying so hard to just let it go, and like things that I still hold on to because of like what I witnessed, and like even like the people that you think care the most about horses, you really have to hold your ground and what you stick to. Like you have to keep your morals, and you have to like always stick to those like things that like just caring about horses. Like I don't know, it's just different. I mean, I've seen so many bad things, and like I said, I wanted to quit before. So I don't know. It's a hard thing to talk about. I think that 2-year-old racing is sickening. I'm not a huge fan of it. I never was a fan of like the breeze sales. I don't like breeze sales. And like when I get comments on my videos about how 2-year-olds are pushed so hard, I can only go so far as to say that training them does build their bones and like makes them stronger. And there's just only so much evidence that we have of that. But I mean, at this point, like when you see horses in their 4-year-old career, their 5-year-old career, 6-year-old career, and they're like coming out with like just some disgusting injuries and things that, not even talking about like my barn, because I know for sure Carlos is like just top notch, cares about his horses. Like, I mean, he's great. Like he knows, but things that I've seen from my experience, for me, I don't feel like 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds should have the injuries that they do. And I mean, like, it's hard when you start thinking about the comparison between disciplines with other sports and stuff, because I know it runs across many sports, the same thing. But when it comes to 2-year-old racing, that's one thing that really bothers me, that I wish that wasn't a thing. Like, I know I stand for the owners. I know it's a lot of money, and I know it's a lot of time that they spend to get these horses to the races, to start, paying back like the bills and stuff. And like, but at the same time, it's just, I think it's very damaging. It's very damaging to those horses. And that's why we're not seeing a very long longevity with these horses in the races,
I don't like the 2-year-olds either because they're impossible to bet on.
Impossible
yeah,
to play.
yeah, because from one race to the next, you don't know what you're going to get. And if they waited another year, I don't see how that would be any different than like college basketball, where you have to wait a year, right, to get in.
Yeah.
So when you rode some horses, I don't know if you bet on horses or not, but were you ever exercise riding a horse and you're like, you know what, this horse really hasn't shown well, and now all of a sudden it's really exercising, and you're thinking to yourself, this one has a shot to win at a price. Have you ever taken that inside information, if you will, to the window and collected?
I always, all the exercise riders do, if you didn't know. Like, I think all of us do. All of us, like, either we don't bet or we just know. And we try to, like, I don't know, every horse that I ride, and just, you kind of can feel them out. I mean, at this point, I'm such a terrible bettor, so that even when a horse feels its best, like, sometimes, like, I'll be like, okay, well, I suck because my horse that feels like a stake horse right now ran second to last, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of, and I don't bet anymore because of that, but you can always feel what you have. And so it's really exciting. It's cool. I'll take it to the races and I'll be like, wow, this is his day, you know? And when they do win, it's the best feeling ever.
I can imagine. And when they lose by a nose for $1,500, it's the worst feeling ever, man. And then you got the inquiry, and you're like, please, 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 you're begging.
Yeah,
you know you're never going to get it.
At Belmont last year, I took Hot Blooded there, and he got beat. Like, it was like just almost the 16th out from the wire, and he just 6 horses closed on at the same time, and he almost won. Like, I think he got beat by a neck, and it was just. It was so hard. I was like, wow, we worked so hard for that. And I just wanted to win that race with that horse. It was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So outside of TikTok, outside of horse racing, what do you do just for fun?
So I got into making helmet covers for them. I mean, it's definitely a business that's like not easy, and just like any other business, but I kind of took a side hobby to doing that, like making helmet covers for exercise riders and selling them. And it's going pretty well. I think I got a lot of good business doing that. But other than that, I just exercise and sleep a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. So do you have an example of the exercise helmets that you've made that we can see online, where we can find them?
I have an Instagram account for them. I do. I mean, I could definitely show on the live here. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I could. I think I could show, and it would show up on my phone if you'd want me to pop up.
Yeah, sure. Let's see what they look like, huh?
Yeah, they're really nice. You know, I mean, I only started with like a few covers, and then it really took off. I mean, people really started like buying them, and I was getting too much in over my head, and it was just becoming like a huge thing. This is one I did for Andy Biancone. I don't know.
It's kind of hard to see because the light. Yeah, there we see it. Oh, there we go. That looks really nice.
She's like, oh, I want a fish on it. So I was like, okay, I'll put a fish. Really cool. Nice. Yeah, they're really nice. This is her barn colors. So they're like sparkly. I think a lot of like my business comes from women because of the sparkly helmet covers. I don't know.
How long do they take to make?
Oh my goodness, it takes so long. I think if I worked like an 8-hour day, which I've done multiple times with the sewing machine, I think I'll get 2 or 3 done. It's
in a day?
Yeah, 3. It's a lot.
Jamie says they're amazing. She makes my favorite helmet covers.
I made her 2 helmet covers.
Well, maybe you can make us a helmet cover we can wear on the. Well, we don't have helmets though that we can wear on the show.
I need to start making some different things like beanies or something. I can start making other stuff.
Yeah, we'll make something that you can send to Shawn and I that we'll proudly wear it on the show and
that would be awesome.
And help. Well, we can't help you push people to your YouTube site or your Instagram account because I have 6.
Oh, come on. No, I would love to. I would love to support you guys with that. That'd be awesome.
So you brought up about horse race. Are we at least moving in the right direction?
Yeah, no, this is really, really cool. This interviewing is really nice. You know, I've only ever done podcasts over calls, and like I say, I was like really shy, like doing any videos, but this was really good to like talk, and it's really comfortable. It's really good for horse racing. You know, I was actually just checking out the YouTube, and you guys got like Chantel on there, and you got Willie and Jamie. You know, it's so cool to get people like just like Jamie and Willie. I love them. They're really great people. So yeah, it was it's just cool to engage in like other people that, you know, I mean, everybody deserves to like share a little bit of their story because everyone is so unique. So it's so cool that you guys are doing that and really looking into people's lifestyles and asking questions.
I appreciate that, but I
that.
actually was asking, as horse racing as the business, are we at least moving in the right direction?
Oh, horse racing as an industry.
Yeah.
No,
or is it getting worse?
it is definitely. I think there's still too many secrets. It's just not very exposed, and we don't know I think right now is that we don't know really like how real a lot of these jurisdictions are working. We don't know if they're working honestly is the word I should be saying. Like we don't know if everyone is being honest, and I mean we know that for a fact. There's good and bad apples, there's cheaters and stuff, but right now there's not much honesty and there's nothing that's very protecting for the sport. There's no one protecting the bettors, there's no one protecting the other trainers. There's just not, and it's not very clear. There's so many different aspects that we can bring into this, like that we don't understand how that's happening or why this is happening or why isn't this person getting punished for this and this person is. So like I just think there's not enough balance and there's not enough honesty and exposure. So I think the sport is not going right now. I definitely don't think it is going positively in any way. So there's going to have to be some major changes in order for the sport to continue. Like right now, I'm not very optimistic about the longevity of the sport as a whole. Like, I don't know where we're going to be in 10 years. I don't even know if the sport will still be in 10 years because of the direction we're headed in.
Well, we hope that they get in the right direction. So maybe with the HISA that's coming up, but I just think that it would be a lot easier, as we've talked about before, because right now nobody wants to. They've asked a couple states that they're going to collect the HISA money. They all say no. And then for me, it seems the easiest thing to do would be for like the Stronach Group, for the Kentucky Racing Board, the California Racing Board, the Florida Racing Board, to get together and say, these are going to be the rules. And if you want your horses to run at these tracks, you have to follow these rules. And if you don't, your horses aren't welcome here where the big money is.
Yeah. And there should never, I just don't think there should be any favorites in any jurisdiction. And I mean, I've played a part in many jurisdictions and I've been a part of mostly so many in the US, like so many. And I can tell you that, like, I know many trainers, and like, it's just because one trainer is better, you feel like there is a lot of favoritism. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people get away with things that they shouldn't have. And the rules should be universal. The rules should be for everybody in the same punishment and not lower. They should get that punishment no matter who they are,
Of course. All right, Shawn, any other questions?
Well, we'll go there. I mean, I hope to God that horse racing ain't gone in 10 years. But if horse racing were to be gone tomorrow or in 10 years, what would Electra Boone be doing?
Oh, I could not tell you because this is my life. I mean, horse racing is what keeps me afloat. What keeps a lot of people afloat. It's everyone's lifestyle. So I don't know what I would be doing, to be honest. I don't know.
I have a suggestion for you.
What's that?
You can paint the helmets for goalies in hockey.
I could do that. I love to paint.
Yeah, I mean, if you make the stuff for the helmets in horse racing, just take it up to the next level. There's a lot of hockey goalies out there, so maybe you can get one of those.
I definitely could do that. That's I'll take that.
Give it a whirl. Well, you got the Florida Panthers down there. Just reach out to their goalie and paint them one. We'll take it.
Hey, let me paint your helmet.
Well, you never know. I've been in sales my whole life growing up before I got into horse racing and stuff. And they always said, don't ever be afraid to ask for the order, because if you don't ask the question, you don't know the answer, right?
Well, I mean, I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I mean, even asking trainers for a job is like it's a huge, you have to be very open. You have to be brave. It's sometimes scary. Like asking Todd Pletcher for a job when I was like 18 was the scariest thing in my life. Like I didn't think that was ever going to happen. And he gave me a shot and it was awesome. You have to take the risk.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't ask the question, you can never get a yes, right?
Never get anywhere. Exactly.
No. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you coming. We were supposed to, I know Shawn tells you 15 minutes. We tell everybody 15 minutes, and here we are 30 minutes in, and it goes by like that. So
it's awesome. I loved it. It was great.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you for coming, and we'll have you back again 100% for sure. When you have our beanies, we'll profile them with you here.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. I am getting very good at giving you making you
gotta
become the big
mix
head.
it up once in a while.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't try at this point anymore. You know what I mean? It just happens. It's a habit, Shawn. Now you don't have to think about it.
We gotta break that habit.
It's instinctive. So as always, another great guest. That was a lot of fun. Maybe we can get some good advice on getting my Twitter account from 6.
Hey, you only had it since yesterday. We've gotten 6, so we'll keep building your Twitter.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've been
just randomly ask questions and tag a bunch of people.
Yeah, and then piss them all off, right? So I just were on the show for the first time. But anyway, I'll start doing that. What I want to do is I want to put such great information out there that if you're a horse player, you have to pay attention to what I'm saying and doing, right?
There you go.
Yeah, but like I said today, 5 out of 6 ain't, it works. 2 out of 3 works for Meatloaf. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but 5 out of 6, I mean, 4 out of 5 doesn't work in pick fives, does it?
Yeah, that's the problem. We talk about this all the time. That's the problem with those bets.
But you know what? It might not be a problem for much longer, Shawn.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this EQL game secures $2 million in fresh capital. Here are the details. This guy, Brad Cummings, grew up in Chicago with Ray Pollock. They're from the Pollock Report, right? And he started this betting system where if you get 6 out of 10, you'd win. Now think about all the parlays that you've made in your life, Shawn, in football. How many times, like today, you have a pick 5, you get 4 horses right. If you ended up getting a pick 4 where you got 3 picks right, maybe you don't get all your money back, but let's say you get 50% of your money back. How much bigger would your account look like right now?
Oh, it should look a lot better. But you know how that is. It always seems easy, and then you actually start playing them, and now all of a sudden you get 5 out of 10 instead of 6 out of 10.
No, I never get that, Shawn. I only lose 1. And it's always, and then I win all the other ones, and that drives me nuts. And usually for me, like if I do a parlay in sports or something, it's always the first game. I don't know why. It's always the first game. And then I get so discouraged. I'm like, forget it. And I don't bet the other ones. And of course they all come in for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I do when I do bet the first one and I lose, I bet it again. And then usually when I bet it again, I just lose the next one too. So yeah, it's just downhill from there.
Yeah, I just get so angry I can't do it again. I can't see straight. So Keeneland opens up on Friday, Shawn. Looking forward to that. You got the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes this weekend. Big racing right out the get-go. What are your thoughts about Keeneland? Do you like betting Keeneland?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do all that well.
I wasn't enthusiastic.
No, because I like the full fields and stuff, but it's as tough as any other track. Not one of my favorites as far as profit.
It is a tough track because you have such high quality horses there. But the good news is they have such big, deep pools. And to me, this is probably, what's the most, I would say, overlooked aspect of betting? Maybe that's a question you can at some random people tomorrow, Shawn. But to me, the most overlooked aspect of betting is the money pools, because if you can have you can hit the pick 4 with a 50 to 1, a 50 to 1, a 50 to 1, and a 50 to 1, and you think, man, I'm rich now, right? I'm in Terry class. I'm flying first class like Terry. I'm eating prime rib like Terry, right? Staying in 5-star hotels like Terry. Just living a life like a rock star, like Terry Hollywood. Hey, that's why he's got all the fans, man. He buys them all, right? But if there's only $1,000 in the pool, if you go 50 to 1, 50 to 1, 50 to 1, 50 to 1, the most you can win is $1,000.
Not even, because the track's got to take their part of it, so you get what's left.
Yeah, so that's my thinking there. Finally, hopefully, I will be participating in March Madness next year, Shawn.
Yeah, the National Handicapping Championship.
Yes, it got moved to March in 2023. So I'm not going to take my hoop skills at my age back to the court. Not that I really ever had any hoop skills. When I was younger, I had a good, quick first step. Pretty difficult to defend because pretty good at bouncing you off. But I had a really good friend, Shawn, named Paul, who we play in summer leagues. Now this kid was like 6'1", weighed about 108 pounds, skinny as hell. So when they first put the 3-point line in for college, he calls me up. He's like, Rich, that's a layup. He's all angry, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut up, Paul. So let's go to the gym. He said, $100. I make 18 out of 20. Bring it. We'll put it on the foul line. I make 18 out of 20 from the 3-point line. I'm like, Paul, no way, man. So I went there, brought $100 with me. You know how many he made?
Probably all 20.
All 20. I don't even think he hit the rim on one. We used to play in these summer leagues, man, and he would just tear everybody up. So now Paul might make a return, but there's no way in the world. But my March Madness will be next year, the National Horse Players Championship. And you know what table I'm going to be sitting at, Shawn?
The table with the champion last year.
What number? What number?
I don't remember. Was it 13?
Oh, come on. No, it's not 13. I know I'm wearing 13 today, but I wouldn't make it that obvious for you, Shawn.
I was just reaching.
You're close, though. You're off by 3. Let's see if you know which way to go.
Oh, man. Wow.
Got 50-50 here, Shawn. This
I'm
line's
go
minus 110. Huh?
All right, I say 16.
Absolutely correct. You won that bet. So you're 1 for the night, man. So tomorrow night, we're going to be doing Santa Anita, the Santa Anita Derby. Not quite sure with who, though. It might just be Shawn, myself, and Tom, and maybe a special guest. That's not a special guest. I mean, it is a special guest to us in the fact special to bring them along, but it may not be a name that everybody recognizes.
Yeah, Chris Palmerloo, who's been doing the Kentucky Derby write-ups and stuff, he should be here tomorrow night taking the place of Terry. So, and we'll look for a guest as well.
You can't take Terry's place. Just ask Blake.
Well, yeah. You know what? He actually asked me if Terry was on tonight, and I said no, tomorrow. And I went, oh wait, not even tomorrow. And I got the why and a million questions.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what you do to people, Terry. Anyway, you should not go on vacation.
We may have to track Terry down on vacation so Blake can see Terry.
Absolutely, 100% for sure. Tom and I will be back to do Randwick on Friday at 1:00 Eastern, right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. All you got to do is click on that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you like what you saw tonight with Electra Boone or any of the other shows that we've done, please give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can see right down there at Horse Race Today. I'm at HRT Rich. Is that right? HRT Rich, right? Yeah, that's what I'm at. So you can make it 7. But anyway, Shawn, any final thoughts before we get up out of here today?
I'm at Swiss Army Shawn, so that's easy enough. Next week, Monday, we got trainer Jorge Delgado, a young trainer that Chantel rides for a lot. Tuesday, we got apprentice jockey Marshall Mendez, who's been doing great at Charlestown. Mm-hmm. And then Wednesday, we have Turf
Hope
Paradise.
He wins that last race, Shawn. He's riding on that 7. I'm in a contest, and it's a long shot. So if he comes in, it'll take me up to the top of the leaderboard no matter what. But
then Wednesday, track announcer and friend of the show, Turf Paradise's announcer, Craig Braddock. And with that, depending on when Turf Paradise's last race goes off, we may get right inside the booth there as he calls the last race as we go live. So,
no, that would be sweet.
Yeah, it may work out pretty good. He said, "Do we mind?" Well, absolutely not. We would want it to end like that or start like that. So
either way, end, start, whatever, wherever you put that. And one of the things you could do to help us out, if you like the show too, aside from liking us on social media and so forth, help us get to 120,000. Help us get to where if we lose 20,000 people, it's like no big deal. Head on over to horseracingtoday.net, hit HRT gear, pick up a nice little number 12 hat. You're going to get outside pretty soon and you're going to head off to the track, look good at the track. You'll be smarter for wearing. And I know that's for sure. Shawn, you've gotten a lot smarter since you put the HRT gear on.
Yeah. So have you, Rich. So have you.
Of course, man. It's not, for me, it's like when you take a penny and double it, right? So it's much different than, at your level, you're trying to double from 100. All right, Shawn, that wraps up the show today. We've always great guests to look forward to it. And unfortunately, it's the saddest moment of your life.
It's Wednesday and the last day of Horse Center. And speaking of that is one other thing. I always forget to bring some stuff up. Maddie Rowland, who we just had on yesterday, and thought how great. She's just riding triple today at Tampa Bay. So, and she brought in a long shot for second too. So she is just killing it out there.
Make sure you reach out to her and let her know. It was because some of the luck from horse racing today rubbed off on her.
Absolutely. We've had some people that, usually
right afterwards, they light up, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do that for everybody. And then people will be knocking on our door to come on the show, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Shawn, that's it for tonight, my friend. I hope you have a good night. Again, make sure you check out tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I will be back with guest host the one last time, Jared. We'll be going over. We've made our decision. We're going to go with Gulfstream because we want to avoid the nasty weather out by you, Shawn, and get ourselves a fast, firm track so that, those muddy tracks, sometimes anything can happen. All right, Shawn, I will see you tomorrow night again at 9:30 to recap or to preview the Santa Anita Derby and some other races. We'll find out who our guest is. Shawn, of course, will let you know. Until then, everybody, we hope you have a great night, and may your night and tomorrow end up, Shawn, in the
winner circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.